talk over you in like a manic, neurotic, obnoxious way. So if you, yeah, if you want to have an actual conversation with her, the best way to do it is to like just actually let her exhaust herself, you know? And you just have to have enough time and patience to let her just like talk endlessly.
She will do that while she's accusing you of doing that. But again, she's an emotional extremist now. I mean, we've just disagreed over atheism and city planning, and she just hates it if I come up with a different idea. I don't have much patience for this. She's probably freaking out because I'm sure her life is at risk, and she's claiming to not believe in God, which I don't believe. I don't believe there's such a thing as an atheist. And then she's got weird liberal ideas, and this Israel Palestine fit into it. She's got. Well, I don't want to bring up the name because I don't need to bring up Lashon Hara. But
but you'll do it anyway.
Say again?
But you'll speak Lashon Hara anyway. I do it all the time.
Say that again?
But you participate in Lashon Hara. You just won't mention
I just said I don't want to participate in Lashon Hara. We were just having a conversation about somebody that we both know, yeah. So she's emotionally fragile anyway and undergoing these treatments and doesn't like it if somebody disagrees with her, especially if it's a man. You know, it's that old liberal man-hating, oppression-hating, imperialism-hating, patriarchy-hating. You know, it's like from whatever, 10 years, politics from 10 years ago, sort of silliness. So there's a person who's going through radiation treatment right now and is very prickly and angry and keeps booming rooms. But
I just came into that room and it died like immediately.
Well, I find this as particularly true among women. When they get pissed off, they boom the room.
I thought it was you. No?
You thought I boomed the room?
Just kidding.
Oh, I don't boom rooms.
My joke was you can participate in Lashon Hara even if you don't mention the name.
Say it again?
I don't want to get into it.
Lashon Hara? Well,
you can participate in Lashon Hara even if you don't mention a particular name.
Yes, but I was not doing either. You can also not participate in it and not mention the name.
It kind of sounded like you were talking about someone, but whatever.
No, we were talking about an experience that we both had. We just had come from an experience.
Yeah. Torah is always like that. You know, they say it's prickly goos and gooey prickles, and it's like there's
What
like
does that mean?
meaning that like some, you know what the difference is between a BMW and a porcupine?
What?
$40,000.
No, with a BMW, the pricks are on the inside.
Did you ever listen to Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers? What was the name of that?
People called in.
Show on NPR. It was kind of funny. They were like these Italian brothers from the Boston area with thick accent. Anyway, they were always insulting BMW drivers. They hated BMW drivers. Kind of funny. Car Talk. That's the name of it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was on WBUR. I used to, that's the NPR station, or was, I don't think it's there, 93.9. I used to listen to it, or 92.9, something like that. I used to listen to it driving back and forth to Massachusetts.
It was a nationwide syndicated show.
Right, but I used to listen to it on WBUR. I think that was their original programming that then they syndicated it to NPR.
Anyway, they hated BMW drivers.
Huh.
I'm not sure why.
Maybe they were just annoying when they brought their cars into their shop.
Who was annoying?
The drivers. Oh, you didn't fix it right. Yeah, like, I've got this little sound in this thing. It's like, yeah, well, don't close the door so hard, you know. Oh my God. Oh my. What's doing?
That's a funny thing that Joe has there, Free America from Israel. That's funny.
Free America from Israel. I don't even know what does that even mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
You're like,
it's like there's a Muslim terror organization for every letter of the alphabet. A for Al Qaeda and Al Shabaab. B for Boko Haram. Somebody has to come up with a C. I think I once had one. D for Daesh. You get to H, you got a whole lot of them. They like H, the Houthis and Hamas and Hezbollah. And then, but somehow Israel is the problem. The one parliamentary democracy in the region.
To date, I haven't, like, you can follow all the cash flows. You can see all the documentation for many of the terrorist groups that you mentioned, that do their things here and there, but this group that's controlling America, I haven't seen any documented evidence that they say jump and the U.S. Congress or president says, how high, mister? This doesn't exist. I said the data just doesn't exist.
It's not really bugging you as a patriot American that we've been controlled by a foreign agent.
I would love to see some data, yeah, but there's just nothing to.
Wait, who's controlled by what?
Like a foreign agent.
Who controlled by what?
Yeah, exactly.
Like Israel, Israel, like
Israel is a country, yeah.
Yeah,
there are 177 countries in the world. Most of them have.
There's more than that.
Most of them have lobbying groups in the United States.
Not like Congress. No. Show me one.
Yes.
Show me one congressman, like one congressman.
Yeah.
Congress from a foreign agent.
Was there one congressman who's a foreign agent?
Which lobbying group are you referring to?
There is no congressman who's a foreign agent.
It's like Israel lobby.
Which Israel? Let's be clear. Which Israel lobbying group are you referring to?
Finish my sentence. And everybody acting like
there's 17,000 lobbies in Washington.
Let me repeat this question. Maybe you don't listen to me. I will
I do listen to you. You said name me one congressman.
Find me? No. Give me one name, one foreign lobby.
Wait. You said name me one congressman who's a foreign agent. There are none. Zero.
They'd have to register first as a foreign agent. So there's none registered as foreign agents. So
no congressman who's a foreign agent. So what is your point?
Okay. Because you have to register as foreign agents.
Like, why you talk about? Can you give me one name? One name.
They can't. There isn't.
Congressman who's a foreign agent.
There's no senator.
Well, give me his name.
Joe Schmo.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
So you have no point, correct?
Right. He wants something that we can't give him.
No, I don't think he wants something. I think he doesn't speak English.
Oh my God, this is a very weak defense.
No, let him speak. What was the lobbying group that you were referring to? You said a foreign lobbying group. Which lobbying group?
No. I'm talking about AIPAC.
AIPAC is an American lobbying group from American dollars. Look, I suggest you go to the Federal Election Committee, the FEC. They have a database where you can look at every single campaign dollars and the addresses from Americans, because they're only allowed to take money from Americans, okay? And you will see they're only Americans giving some places $36, someplace $2,000, someplace $1,500, someplace less. You'll see it's a list of just Americans. It's not like, Yeshua ben so-and-so from Israel. No, those names don't exist because it's an American lobbying group.
But if Yeshua so-and-so from Brooklyn wants to give money, he's allowed to.
Sure, because he's an American.
Exactly. It doesn't mean there's some grand conspiracy. Just because an American wants to give money to an American, there's nothing wrong with that.
And guess what? Like the chemical industry.
Israel is not, hang on a second, Israel is not even in the top 10 donors.
Yeah, there's so many, the chemical industry, big big pharma.
Yeah, it's like Joe DuPont giving money to the American government. How come you don't talk about him?
Yeah. There's I think they gave a total of 390 million or 470, some insignificant amount compared to all of the other all the other.
Why don't you talk about him?
Is that El Normo? Are you the one who is defending Epstein? You don't think he's a pedophile? Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
You don't think? So you think he's a pedophile, right?
He's a horrible, disgusting, twisted, manipulative criminal.
The only thing maybe anybody could say is he needs due process rights. That's about it, right?
Well, he's dead. He doesn't get due process.
Well, he
already lost his due process.
Yeah, exactly. But
okay, guys, don't call me anti-Semitic and that bullshit. Okay, can I ask a question?
You're on the trajectory to be anti-Semitic.
Anyway, why most of the pedophile are Jews? Like, what's the secret?
Whoa, okay. Hold on. Stop. Show me statistical data that shows per 10,000 population or per 1,000 population, pedophiles have a higher incident rates of pedophilia than non-Jewish pedophiles. Show me that data, and then we can have a discussion. But guess what, Bob? It doesn't exist.
In Iraq, the age to marry is 9 years old. So it's pedophilia when it's legal. If it's not against the law to marry a 9-year-old, can you really call it pedophilia? It's their culture. And I think it's wrong of you to judge their culture by our standards. If it's normal for a Muslim to marry a 9-year-old, it's wrong of you to judge them.
With all due respect, Randy, didn't he marry a 6-year-old?
Listen, you're using Western values to judge people, okay? And that's wrong.
Even amongst good point, Randy, but even amongst Western countries, Joe, show me the data, because you made this point that why are all pedophiles, what was your claim? Why are all pedophiles Jewish?
He doesn't know. He doesn't consider Muslims to be pedophiles.
With which to have, okay, forget the Muslim versus, forget that. Just use Western democracies, Western governments where the age of consent is 17 or 18, whatever it is, and show me that there are more.
Someone sent me a channel asking about all the priests that fooled around with boys, and again, I don't think it's fair to judge priests by Jewish standards. That's their culture, and the point is we have to take each culture on its own and not judge it by the culture of other people.
That's that. Any response, Joe?
I think a lot of Arabian countries have ages of consent that are around 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, but usually comes from 20.
Almost a teenager. 12 is a teenager.
The difference becomes reporting these kind of crimes. Like, so people say, "Oh, why is the infant mortality rate greater in Israel and in surrounding Arab countries? Why is it so high?" Yeah, it isn't because the reporting standards in the surrounding countries are so poor that if they had the same kind of reporting levels, it would be great.
With the age of consent.
But there's
I'm just saying that data is based on how you report.
We were talking about the age of
I understand. You just brought up something that's based on reporting. So
I brought up the age of consent.
Correct. So rape and other things requires valid.
I'm talking about marriage.
Marriage, rape, anything that requires report.
Rape, as far as I know.
Of course, but
That's right. That's true.
I can't explain it a fourth time.
Why did they lower the marriage age to 9 in Iraq? Does that make them a nation of pedophiles?
No. Again, you're using American standards. A 9-year-old, first of all, Iraqi 9-year-old girls are very mature. Okay, much more mature than Americans.
I wouldn't say that, no, Randy.
No?
Well, we liberated Iraq. Okay, really quick, 2 seconds.
We liberated Iraq, remember?
Norm, so I read in the New York Post that in Afghanistan, they passed a law that men are allowed to be the women again. Did you read about that?
Yeah. And you know what? The women are going to listen a lot more now.
No, that's not funny. That's not funny.
As long as they're chicks, though, it doesn't matter, right?
Dude,
Wait,
I don't even know what does that word mean.
That's not nice.
Don't worry, man. You'll find out. You'll find out, right?
Yeah, when I go to Iraq, I'll find out.
When your daughter enters Israel, you'll find out.
When I go to, I've been in Israel many times. It's a beautiful place. Do you know that a quarter of all the doctors in Israel are Palestinian? How could it be apartheid when a quarter of the doctors are Palestinian? You know how many doctors there are in Iran, Jewish doctors there are in Iran, and the whole Arab world? Under 10. Okay? So who's the apartheid country? You tell me.
The ones that consider non-Muslims dhimmis or second class. The ones that expelled all the Jews and committed ethnic cleansing. The ones that ethnic cleansing.
What about the ones that say convert or die? Those?
Yeah, so that's how, that's the whole Middle East. But you know what I said to my Palestinian doctor?
What?
I said, doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
Damn.
No pill gonna cure my ill. I got a bad case of loving you.
Who sings that?
Robert Palmer. Right. Okay. Forgot who wrote it originally, but yeah, I'm singing it now. You know, I'll take all the emotions I can get. I'm trying to get to the 1% place. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Unfortunately, I can't react to myself. If I could, I'd be in the top 1%.
I mean, you live in the Upper West Side, so.
How about I said doctor, not doctor.
I'm sorry.
I didn't say doctor, you little maniac, you.
You live in
Little
a
clergy maniac whose brother pays $40,000 in taxes.
Wow,
You have 5 brothers, don't you? You have 5 brothers, remember? I mean, Docs is right, baby. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
I was paying you a compliment then.
Yeah, I'm paying you a lot of compliments. Okay? I'm gonna dox you, dude. I'm really gonna dox you.
You know, Norm, for the record, I invited Randy a couple of times.
Oh my God.
But he never accepted.
How many times are you gonna say this? You know, 1 to 2 times you invite
I just want to witness.
Even a train stops once in a while, David. I mean, the ASPCA called. They got to report someone's beating a dead horse. Please, brother. Oh, that was a good one, Randy.
Lord Kitover, I like your campaign videos, by the way. He's from Chicago. We got to get a beer in Lakeview, right?
Joe's been awfully quiet. We silenced him. Joe's booking a flight to Iraq right now. He wants some of that 9-year-old. Once you told him about the 9-year-olds, he's like, oh my God. He's on his way there, dude. He's like, 9-year-olds, look at me, here I come.
He's booking a seat on the Lolita Express.
Yeah, baby, I don't blame him, man. You know, it's good to go with a 9-year-old is.
Muslim male to do it. I think you have to be a Muslim male. He's gonna have to
Hopefully they're virgins, these 9-year-olds. That's all I want to say.
Hopefully they're female too.
Yeah. I mean,
Is there anything wrong with that?
if your dad, if the only person you've had sex with is your dad, are you still a virgin, kind of, technically?
Randy, okay, let's stop.
I'm sorry. It's good to see all you guys, okay? I don't care what you say. I like you guys, right?
We get it.
Yeah. You know what? You know, the Chicago accent and the Buffalo accent are the same.
No, they're not. Are you
Yes,
nuts?
they are.
Oh my God, you have officially lost it.
Get into it. I was trying to do a hard Chicago accent.
No.
Buffalo, I know a guy from Buffalo. He sounds just like he's from Chicago. I said, you sound like you're from Chicago. I said, yeah, I do.
You're from Chicago.
Yeah.
I love that they say Chicago. Chicago. It's with the, so they do this with the A and the A.
It's not pronounced Chicago. It's pronounced.
Yeah. There's like 3 A's in the Chicago. Like instead of you guys say tree, or in New York they say
thing on the top of your house.
Roof or roof? Is it roof or roof?
Roof.
Roof. Where do they say roof? I've heard of that once. I was like, what?
Rough or whatever.
I guess a Midwest someplace, excuse me.
It depends. Like, there's people that in St. Louis that have southern accents, and they claim to be Midwest. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Anyway.
The weirdest accent I will hear is some of the people from Louisiana. They can actually be hard to understand.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Joe, do you want to live in Palestine?
I hope
you're not gay.
What's with the Palestinian flag over there?
I don't know. I hope he's not gay. He'd throw you off a 10-story building. But wait, there are no 10-story buildings.
Yeah, well.
They didn't pass the building codes.
Yeah.
They had to make room for progress, you know. Is this guy serious? Do you know this person? Free America?
He's just full of one-line, insults.
Oh, like he doesn't have an actual game plan on how to do so. How can you occupy something that's never been a state? That doesn't make any sense.
He probably doesn't even know that Jordan occupied the West Bank before Israel.
Did this guy ever talk, or he was
talking. He was just babbling away.
Listen, most of the
30 seconds to say something before he's removed.
If it was never a state, then that applies to Jordan as well. I'm sorry.
let me be clear. Most of the so-called Palestinian Arabs are migrant Arabs who came to the area from other countries because of opportunities created by the Jewish settlements. Israel drained the swamps, turned the deserts into farmland. It wasn't farmland before. So these are people who came the same time as the Jews. If you look at the population growth, the Palestinian Arab population growth basically tracks the Jewish growth. More Jews came, they needed more laborers, and more Arabs came for opportunities. It's not like there was some big Palestinian society with a king or a...
They outnumbered you guys by quite a bit. I mean, right
at what point? When did they outnumber?
In the late 1940s.
No, they didn't. That's so... You're statistically wrong.
Let me look it up.
You're statistically wrong. What is the late 1940s? What year are you talking about?
I'll say 1947.
Okay, by the way,
Stop. What is the claim?
In Europe, they had to go somewhere.
What is the claim?
850,000 Jews were kicked out of Arab countries. Iraq, Iran, Algeria, Yemen, Syria, they were citizens there forever. They were kicked out. Well, you picked a random time.
How much did they outnumber you guys?
Last year in 1949.
What's the claim?
Oh, that the Arabs that were living in Palestine and what is today Israel, they grossly outnumbered the Jewish population.
So after every war, there is an exchange of population. Every war, Ukraine, Poland, Germany, Russia. After every war, there are refugees and people leave, and that's in every country: India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Why is this one country, the tiniest of all countries?
Did you say 47?
Yeah, 1947.
So I'm going to exclude Jordan because it was carved out in 1946.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, the point being,
after Pakistan was created, millions of people had to leave India. The good news is that they weren't kept in refugee camps forever, and they weren't used as political pawns. They were resettled, like the Arabs should have been resettled in Jordan and Egypt and Lebanon and Syria. Instead, these countries kept them in refugee camps till today in order to...
You got a month in...
They're political pawns. Pepe. You have a lot to learn, Pepe. A lot.
No, I don't. I think.
Well, I just gave you some facts, and I haven't heard you comment on them.
Sure.
850,000 Jews kicked out of Arab countries.
Yeah, that was after 1947.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah, but the reason I point to 1947 is I don't think there's a population on this planet that, if they got an influx of what they see as foreigners, would sit where it would sit well with them. There would naturally be people that would revolt against them, want to war with them,
But they're not.
and chase them out.
I wouldn't say your words were grossly. What were your words? Grossly.
Probably grossly outnumbered them. Like
Okay, well, so turn grossly into percentage.
like 10 to 1, like 90%.
Okay, so you're wrong. It's 66% to 32%. There were 1,250,000 Arabs, and there were 625,000 Jews. So that was 65% to 32%.
Not for nothing. The Arabs were offered their own homeland. The Palestinians were offered a homeland. They said no.
But at that time,
They were.
that's how it's going to work. They're
Yeah, because they're murderers.
So wait, do you want to revisit?
We were here on the homeland.
my land.
Do you concede that your point was a little bit exaggerated?
Yeah, it was a little bit exaggerated. So when did you have a lot of numbers? Did you have a lot of people coming in the early 40s too?
Well, I mean, if only they could have, then 6 million Jews wouldn't have been killed. If only the British had let them in. Instead, they were turned away.
Have you looked up the Etienne conference?
We act like the Holocaust never happened over here.
Yeah, have you looked up the Etienne conference?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
Take a look at that.
so
Roosevelt
selective.
participated. Yeah,
It's outrage. It's so selective, you know?
Etienne.
What about the fact that the Arabs destroyed all the Jewish synagogues and built mosques there? I mean, your outrage is so selective.
What did they do to the nice cathedrals in fucking that are now Turkey?
But that you talk to the Turks about that.
I know it.
That's a different room, Pepe. You bring your anger to the Turks, but you don't do that because the Jews are easy picking. It's easy to pick on Jews. A Turk would kick your ass. A Jew will actually engage you in conversation. A Turk would kick your ass and say, "Get the fuck out of here."
No, I beat the shit out of it.
That's true.
In real life.
Yeah. I'll take things that never happened for 1,000.
Okay.
All right,
Alex, wait, was that like a game show reference? Things that don't happen.
Yeah. This guy, okay, he's a Philadelphia lawyer over here.
Here's the part, and I don't know, maybe it's because.
Well, that's the most honest thing you said. You don't know. So
Yeah, so hold on, Randy, calm down.
Calm, buddy.
I mean, I don't.
Miss, I am very calm now.
Do you think there's anybody that would be that if they were in the Palestinian situation, they would sit well with them? No.
Well, tell me this. There's been, this is the only place where terror is tolerated. Do you think American Indians have a right to blow up buildings in New York City? I mean, since their land was taken, do you think they should be doing terror in New York 100 years ago? Would you justify that? Would you say, yeah, Native Americans have a right to do violence?
Sure, but you're talking about them like challenging the Israeli state literally within the same year that it was founded. I mean,
I'm talking about 2023. I'm talking about 80 years later. Would you, that we're talking about right now, not then. We're talking about right now. There's still terror.
Yeah, they're going to do it.
Right. So American Indians should be blowing up buildings in New York. Do you think they should? Because their land was stolen, right? That makes standard.
It's not a double standard.
We just said they're not justified, but the Palestinians are. It's a double standard.
No, I think that like I said, I think there's always a real.
Listen, I sometimes
Brief. Why are you listening to him?
I don't know why he's here. He likes to paint too, so he's got a problem with George. He should be kicked out. He's not tolerant. I don't know why we tolerate him. The Turks wouldn't tolerate him.
I find it quite funny. Tucker asked a question to the other, the guy, I don't know, the idiotic who's in Israel, is the ambassador of Israel. But if you look at the historically of European have their own language. World have their own language. Scottish have their own language. There's no such thing called English. It doesn't like the European Jewish had Yiddish. So it doesn't make any sense. It was.
What about Hebrew, Riri?
Yeah, but the Yiddish is defined like European.
What about Hebrew, though?
She's gonna.
The European Jews have Hebrew.
No. I'm pissed off.
So what?
Hate friends or anti-Semitic.
I'm so fucking angry because I can't. The Irish piece of shit. I'm pissed off because it was like, oh my god, why are the Jewish? You're Polish. You're fucking Eastern European. No, bitch, shut the fuck up. No, it doesn't make any sense.
What? We don't understand you.
I don't.
All right. All right, guys. Shabbat shalom, everybody. It was good catching up. I'll be around all week. All right. I'm gonna run for now. Take care.
Don't forget to tip your waiter.
That was awesome.
So welcome back, everybody, to Iran War, Israel, Palestine, USA. Absolutely no terrorists allowed, because we know there's a lot of terrorist sympathizers and promoters floating around this app. Pepe, you're not a terrorist, are you?
No. No, Pepe is anti-terrorist. It's like being anti-racist.
Well, I would just say this. Just like how you can look at the Basque, you can look at I don't know, the Corsicans, they would do it. You had the IRA. You had people that would assassinate officials, blow shit up, usually aimed at fucking with the federal government.
Or like the mafia.
And so, like, I'm not going to say that, like, I would say that the same feelings any of these groups would have, they obviously are going to have them. And I definitely don't. I think what they did was just like a very disgusting form of terrorism. They just went and terrorized and butchered and kidnapped, innocent people. But I mean, I can't say that it's illogical, but for them to, rebel.
David is a Hebrew Israelite, and so is Camille. Just so you know, they think white people are the devil, right, David and Camille?
We are the devil. It's fine.
Who are you? First of all, my name is not David, but you think I'm a Hebrew Israelite? This dude is irrational.
What are you, Dave?
Yeah, man.
What are you, Dave?
So the last room I was in, the Persian people were begging for Israel and the United States to intervene to throw off the shackles of the occupying Iranian genocide regime in Iran. These people do not want to be oppressed by their government. And there's literally a guy from Tehran saying that please come bomb these people so we can finally be free. We don't even like Islam. We're Zoroastrians. We don't like Islam. That's what they said in the last room I was in.
Yeah, I've heard that before too. Most of the younger people are atheists because I don't know, the country is backwards.
Can I tell you when did it happen that I didn't identify as a Shia Muslim anymore?
Go ahead.
I was 15 and I was arrested for chewing gum on Ramadan in Iran.
Well, that's understandable. Chewing gum on Ramadan.
Yeah, that's kind of you should be doing that, man.
What flavor was the gum?
Banana, man.
Banana?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, they get 9 years for that.
Yeah, that's an enhancement right there. Banana, gum and banana is like a double effect.
And you're walking and chewing gum at the same time? Oof.
I put handcuffs and then I took another one.
What's that?
They put handcuffs on me. They were threatening me. They said just spit it out or something. And then I started chewing another one.
How could you if you were handcuffed? Your story is
I was handcuffed in front of me, not to my
probably the religious police. They don't know how to lock people up good.
No, it was the regular police.
Which pocket was the gun in?
The left side.
Left side. I see. So you were able to get the gun.
Tell them the truth. I mean, why would anybody make that up?
Well, we got to check the details here.
Okay, we can go through the detail.
So you were walking, you were chewing gum, and it was banana gum. So that's like 3 offenses. And then you reached into your left-hand pocket. Left is bad, by the way, and as far as I know, they hate the left. And you put another piece in your mouth. Did they hit you with a stick then?
No. Then there were some old guys. They came. They said, "What you're doing is or something. It's a kid and stuff." And then they said if I spit it, they will let me go, and I did. And I went. I took one extra before I spit it.
Another chew.
No. Like they said, spit it. I took another one. Yeah. Then these old guys came. It was like.
Okay, I'm gonna spit you the goo real quick. Sorry to interrupt, but we have Buttercup, a beautiful little cup of butter, who really is a subject matter expert on the topic. I'm wondering if we can all, encourage Buttercup to come up.
Account for what that we have to say. I think his government just blocked them.
You think his government sent them down?
He's shooting me on club. I mean, I think that's what happened. Yeah, they're censored there.
It is Ramadan.
We also have the beautiful Bima, my favorite begonia, in the house, who is a vocal of Free
Did somebody
Palestine.
send him down or something like that? Or did he go?
I didn't. I was surprised to see that.
Yeah, I would.
Lord, you didn't do anything. So
Yeah,
did you?
that was me. I'm the king green bean.
In your own room.
Let me show you how it works. I'm going to show you, Jacob, how it works. So that's called the goo. We're trying to stay focused and concentrate on the Iran war between Israel and the United States of America, with Palestine caught in the crossfire. There's no terrorists allowed here in this room. We're trying to draw up those from below who we think could make excellent contributions to the discourse. That could be Buttercup or Bima. It could be other individuals, but we want to give room for everyone to speak, including him and Camille and Love.
Can I make a suggestion? We should all read Prince's room where they think Turkey and the Arabs are going to carve up Iran after the war, or after a coup or revolution, whatever they want to call it. These guys don't know history.
Why do you say why do they think it's Turkey and not Saudi Arabia?
They just said Arabs / Turkey, or Turkey / Arabs.
He has the big army.
Turkey's the only.
But they have no forward projection of that army. They have no logistics. They have nothing. So far away.
Does that mean that everyone's betting now that the regime will fall if there's a war? Because it sounds like they're saying it's a sure thing.
The longer it goes on, the less likely it is to fall. Is sort of my take, but hopefully it will.
But I'm surprised that those guys think it's gonna fall. Like they've been kind of.
The whole thesis of their argument was, if it does, will it balkanize? And
I didn't hear them say if. I heard them say they will.
It was definitely if it falls, will it balkanize? It has the highest potential to balkanize, but it's been integrated since Cyrus the Great for so long. But no, they're never going to do that.
They do seem to have a strong sense of national unity. But there are dissident groups like the Kurds and the Baluchis and the Assyrians who feel you're supposed to say the Yazidis, and then I'm supposed to say, I told you, never mind the Yazidis.
Yeah.
Still, it's like I guess it's a little ironic because I didn't expect those guys to be so optimistic about regime change.
They fucking hate it. Like, people
They like the regime. I'm surprised.
I'm not convinced that they like the regime.
They don't like the regime.
No, they don't like the regime. No, not at all.
The Jews in America
I
more.
feel like it's like a Like
They're oppressive. Look, they see, Muslims getting shot in the streets. Whether it's the Israelis or the regime, they don't like it. So
They've seen a bulwark against the Israelis, though. It's like
but they're also all Sunni. They think they don't have a positive opinion of
Israelis are not shooting people in the street. That's the IRGC, the Iranian genocide.
No, I'm saying whether they perceive, as in Gaza, Israelis are
talking about a pro-Pali room that's optimistic about the regime falling when they've been saying this whole time.
It's
intervention.
in their mind.
Yeah.
It's in their mind that they see.
Well, their fallback position is that there's a new caliphate led by Turkey, which seems pretty ridiculous. Remember, we just was third. I mean, they've just been taking one loss after the other, so they have fallback position after fallback position, in which somehow they're going to win in the future. Someday, somehow, Israel will fall, the U.S. will fall, and the caliphate will rule once again. It's a little far-fetched. It's a lot far-fetched.
Yeah, I mean, Iran has definitely got to go.
It's a coping mechanism. But they see the United States, even though they say, oh, now the world's waking up to Israel's blah, 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 gay pride, blah, blah. But then they see that the world's greatest superpower is formed a indelible partnership with Israel, both militarily and in terms of intelligence and geopolitically and even economically. And they're like, well, the caliphate's going to come. This is like people who lost the Civil War saying the South will rise again. Is that ridiculous? What they do is they've done this over and over. The more they attack Israel, the more they strengthen the Jewish people's resolve. And the more they make it clear that our defeating them is necessary and justified. So they sow the seeds of their own doom. Israel's never been stronger than it is right now, ever.
Yeah, I mean, America and Israel is like best friends.
They are. They just recently recalibrated our alliances, and they deemed Israel the most capable ally, the best and most capable ally.
Yeah.
What did he say?
I said it's a great stage. We're besties.
Why isn't
What's that?
Then why isn't Israel part of NATO?
I don't know. What does that have to do with the conversation?
I don't know. They were such a capable ally. Yeah, you think
it's the most capable ally. Do you know what NATO stands for? Any thoughts?
It's the North Atlantic something.
So is Israel in the North Atlantic?
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to be in North Atlantic.
That's the basis of the alliance. It was to oppose Russia in the Soviet Union in Europe. That's
Isn't Georgia part of NATO?
North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
Isn't Georgia part of NATO?
I don't know. Georgia is allied with Russia.
No, part of South Ossetia is aligned with Russia, but Georgia proper isn't.
Georgia is under de facto Russian rule. Russia reestablished its dominance over Georgia.
All right, I'm trying to do the math. You're a mathematician, Yaakov. How many places is this conversation currently being beamed by Lord Kitover's many accounts? Because he has 70 phones.
Yeah, I don't know. There's too many variables. I have no clue. How many phones? How many channels?
And also, who cares? That's not the subject of the room.
Yeah.
It's a fun math problem because there's so many.
So you can do that. Look, you know basic math.
Yaakov.
I do, but this is basic math. You know basic math.
I think it's the number of Kitovers to the power.
Let's not go off the topic of the room.
Stop muting me, you fucker.
Don't call me that.
You can call me that, I guess. Anyway, I prefer you not call me that.
Thank you. Annoying, foul-mouthed child.
Yeah, don't you know we're on secret? Wasn't it correct me to say like, using foul language says more about you than it says about me.
I think that's true.
So how many empires do you think lasted more than 300 years?
I don't know. Roman is one. Except you go back
The Greek, the British, the French, the Spanish.
French didn't. Nope. Sorry for the French one.
Empire is actually distinct from the.
No, the French Empire still exists now. There's French territories outside of mainland.
Dude, Rome got dominated by Christianity. Like, it's crazy.
Did that help?
Well, actually, Rome got dominated by the barbarians, the German army, or Germanic.
Well, the French was like large part is mostly part of Rome, but what do you? I don't get it. What do you mean they got taken over by Christianity? They've been Christian for centuries.
Yeah, it changed their whole structure and kind of ruined everything.
Starting when?
What did it ruin? What do you mean?
Well,
and the reason why I think it's like less than 20. The number. It's a finite set of reasons.
oh, dude, America.
The question is, will we
I
remain?
want to know what helps improve everything.
Because it took away their native religion and their whole foundation of their society was
What's their native religion?
erased.
Like they're
Hold on. What native religion?
they're pagans.
Their pagan religion, you know. Who is it? Jupiter?
Okay, and so tell me
Mars?
how the pagan religion helps people
Wait, what do you mean? Like,
peacefully.
King Louis had a priest as part of his council. What do you mean?
Speaking of pagans, where's pagan bread?
I mean, you can talk about how powerful they were and even like advanced at times, like you look at the Greeks and the Romans and how good like some of the warriors were. But I mean, obviously after they became Christian, they became more, I don't know, less barbaric.
Yeah, that's I mean, they weren't part of the, the papacy, but they had priests. They had as their advisors and as their council. So you can't say that the French Empire.
What did the French Empire do to the Christian Catholics in Lebanon and Syria? Nobody cares.
Well, they weren't Catholic.
They made Beirut look really nice. That's what they did. You're welcome.
Yeah, but they were given that area. They didn't conquer it.
They weren't given that area.
Look at the Sykes-Picot Agreement.
They took over after the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah, that means they were given it.
Okay, that's fair. Okay.
The British beat the Ottomans, and the Sykes-Picot Agreement said, "Hey, you get north of this line, we get south of this line."
Fair.
What did the French do that was so bad to the Lebanese?
They turned it into Monte Carlo.
I never heard.
Move to America. How about that?
They turned it into the Paris of the Middle East.
You guys didn't flee. The Lebanese didn't flee because of anything the French did.
Are you Lebanese?
Yes, I am.
Huh? Also
Yeah.
tough.
When's the last time you were in Beirut?
No, I haven't been. I would like to go one day, but now is not the time.
No, I highly suggest you don't.
But I heard that it was absolutely beautiful in the pictures. And,
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it's a shithole now, dude. It's like really deteriorated.
yeah. That's
No, but Lebanon is not a shithole. It's not.
It is. I don't mean this in a mean way. It's just like everything that was nice, it's torn down. It's very
If
poor.
you're trying to be English, you're trying to be British, you're trying to be Scottish, Welsh, Germany, I think my country's from Somaliland. I'm from Somaliland. It's beautiful.
But Somalia.
Yeah, that's an improving shithole. That's an improving country.
Yeah, it's not a shithole. It's improving country.
Somalia is a goddamn dump.
No, it's not Somali. It's Somaliland. Correction. Hello.
Yeah, Somaliland is an improving shithole. Somalia is a complete shithole.
That's like Manhattan versus the Bronx.
Yeah.
No.
No, both of them are going on a downhill trajectory now. But we're rooting for Somaliland.
lasted for 420 years with paganism, and it lasted 80 years with Christianity.
But that was when they had their empire had greatly expanded, and so that was kind of part of their downfall.
You have to also include the Byzantine continuation of it. So it's like 1480 years.
It's a very complicated history.
I mean, didn't Napoleon even say that he recreated the Holy Roman Empire? Wasn't that Napoleon's whole, shtick?
I don't know, but I know that Christianity was created to conquer the world, and it did.
No,
I'm not too sure about that, but yeah.
Well, didn't the apostles conquer the world?
I think it also depended on which colonial powers conquered you. I mean, the Spanish definitely were forceful about it, but like the French, for example, weren't too forceful.
Yeah, but to be fair, like when the Spanish, when they came to the New World, they wanted to help the people that were in the New World to be better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
by starving them, and
ask the Iroquois how they thought about their help.
The Spanish were by far the most sadistic of all the European.
That's not a fair.
No, it is absolutely no. This is even in college. They say the 3 C's.
Well, everything.
It's like
everything
for
you
commerce.
learned in college.
Sure. So the French came for commerce. The English came for colonization, and then the Spanish came to conquer. They made
the French also came to.
No. Where were the Spanish nice to anybody? They literally took all your fucking resources. If there was ever a famine, anything like that, they ate first. They were just like, they were nasty people. I don't.
Well, Pepe, is that an opinion or is that a fact, Pepe?
Oh yeah, the Spanish you really did not want to be rolled over by them.
Well,
I respectfully disagree.
What year is it? Can everybody please just give us a quick diagnostic and tell us what year it is?
2026.
5786.
All right, we got 2026. We have 5786. Pepe, Mako, what year is it?
I wasn't listening. What's up?
Yeah, I was asking you, Mako, what year is it?
It's 2026. Why?
It's not the year 1400?
I mean, to be fair, the Spanish, they also like slaughtered Europeans that weren't Catholic too. That happened on a number of instances.
Well, the Italians did that as well. So
where were the Italians in?
Yeah, Italians were in North America. Wow.
No, you're saying about in Europe.
No, I'm talking about here.
Well, what made the Spanish?
Who killed the most people in the New World was the British. With all due respect, the British and the French did the most.
But the French barely had any land in it.
The French and Indian Wars. You know how many people died in those wars? What are you talking about?
I will point out that I've read that the British Empire was able to expand to every part of the globe for one reason and one reason only, because of the mechanization of the rifle and the ability to automate, the discharge of bullets at high scale, high velocity at scale. So, without that ability to say STFU, or we're going to give you a Gatling gun, that's real power.
Gatling guns until the Civil War.
Well, you see my point about the ability to deliver a high volume of
a single barrel.
We actually had
Sorry, John.
I think it was called the repeater. I think it was called the repeater rifle. The repeater rifle, I think, is the big stage in warfare.
We actually had a superior rifle. What was it? The BESS, I believe. But I think it had some rifling in the barrel, but it was a little bit more accurate out to a longer distance. So The British were not.
It was more about the war tactics on the ground that gave America the edge over the British and the French and the Spanish.
Well, I'm looking at an interesting historical document. It says the law of the strong. This is our law and the joy of the world. And that's, a British Kabbalist. Now, Pepe thinks that the Spanish were the most merciless conquistadors. But what was the philosophy of the Spanish conquistadors, Pepe?
They're probably just like this. I mean, they just got done getting rolled over for how many fucking 7 or 8 centuries by a bunch of fucking Muslims.
I think you're being over negative towards the Spanish Empire.
No, I don't think I am at all.
Well, can you give evidence that you're not?
And they were absolutely the most religiously intolerant.
But there's nothing wrong with being. I mean, the English, with all due respect,
they were a lot worse than the English.
Well, I mean, that's why we had people come to America is to escape.
Yeah, they weren't slaughtering them upon contact.
I mean, they okay, but don't say that the British weren't, being.
No, the Spanish were, dude. They were like
negative to people who don't believe
like
in
jihadists.
things.
They were Catholic jihadists, dude. I don't know how else to put it.
They did genocide and division, so I think you have a point.
So again, I ask you, what year is it? Is it 2026? Is it February 21st on a Saturday? Are you all here right now? Hello?
I like the fact that we've attracted many Anons to the room. They want to know what we're talking about, but they don't want to let us know who they are.
They're all John.
Well, we were talking about the who's first, the Spanish, the French, or the British Empire.
In the Americas, it was the Spanish, hands down. You can't. There's no denying.
I said more people died under the hands.
The British Empire.
David, why don't you give us? David, why don't you give us?
Actually brought in more slaves than the British.
Well, actually, the British were actually against slavery.
I want to point out that this is a little bit like David arguing whether vodka, gin, or whiskey is better, than the other one. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, we want peace in the Middle East and we want peace in America. But unfortunately, a lot of people want to break the law, and those people are called terrorists or people that need to be brought back into compliance or possibly destroyed. Now, Pepe has...
Is that part of your platform?
Part of my as a write-in candidate for Congress. Yes, Dr. David, absolutely. So we have to be strategic in our communication. We have to be strategic in our militarization and what we're going to do with our focus and our concentration, because this room has grown to a very large audience. And you can see there's a lot of Persians in the audience who are very concerned about a possible war. And I just want to say in Farsi, Dilam barat, khiritain shane.
Yeah, I think Texas should be its own country, man.
What did you just say? What did John say in Persian?
I said, I missed you. I said, I missed you, my beloved. Dilam barat, khiritain shane.
Can we get someone to confirm?
So I'm just curious, if we bombed the shit out of Iran and there's no change in leadership, what is actually gained?
Well, I think that's an unlikely hypothetical. I think the change in leadership is part of the whole point.
Yeah.
We've already dropped 2 massive bombs on Iran this year alone. We've already detonated 2 of our largest bombs on their nuclear facilities. We've already done it. We've already crossed the fucking threshold. Hello?
You're talking about the bunker busters.
Yeah, but that's a different thing.
Right. It's my understanding the fear is that, okay, let's say you do take out Khomeini or whatever, that there's IRGC is able to remain in power, and then they're not going to, they'll still have their military that's going to be armed. They'll still shoot a bunch of thousands of people in the street, whatever.
Yeah, but this is what happened in Venezuela once the person.
It's not Venezuela.
But I'm just telling you.
The government of Venezuela is still. It's just the president was taken out. The generals are still in command. The vice president.
Like there isn't like massive hysteria. Yeah.
Pepe, are you asking if this affects the Jews?
Pepe, are you an apologist for the Khomeini?
No, I think I don't like the IRGC, but you have to think people, and it's somewhat, I think, the West's fault. They were saying, hold on.
The people made their opinion.
Oh my God.
They're in the streets and they're being killed.
All right, dude, can I finish? Holy shit. So, it's kind of the West's fault. We were like, yeah, guys, revolt. You can do this. And then, tens of thousands of them get fucking gunned down, and they're mostly young people. And, it's kind of like, I hope they didn't really do that for nothing. And I want, I want to see, like, if anything is done in Iran, I would want to see them no longer having to be ruled over by the IRGC. Otherwise, it's all in vain.
Pepe, it doesn't affect the Jews either way.
Oh, Pepe is not Jewish.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm Jews. Yeah, this has nothing to do
He
with.
probably has Jewish ancestors.
No. What is it that you're saying doesn't affect the Jews?
Oh.
Bombing Iran?
Yeah, well, Khomeini being replaced or not.
Well, sure it affects the Jews.
Well, I mean, when Khomeini says, like, death to Israel, I mean,
they've hijacked their own country and made it into the big enemy of Israel and surrounded Israel with this ring of fire with the Hezbollah to the north. Wait, haven't finished. Hezbollah, it's not a slogan, they attack Israel. Hezbollah to the north and east, right? Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hezbollah in Syria until we kicked them out. The Houthis in Yemen, supplying Hamas. That's not just a slogan. That's an active campaign to exterminate the Jewish homeland, the Jewish state. So of course it affects the Jews. Your reasoning doesn't conform with reality.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, like, without a gun to the head, if you ask, like, a typical Iranian, like, what do you think of, Israel? They'd be like, I don't care. I just want to live. That's all they care about.
They love Israel.
But it's the head. It's the Ayatollahs that was like, death to Israel all the time. But the regular Iranian, they don't care about Israel. They just want to live.
Can you just say, instead of saying Khomeini, can you say Khomeini? And instead of Iranian, can you just say it like a normal American?
Why do you want him to mispronounce these words?
Nothing, because he's trying to sound like he speaks Persian, like with one word in an English sentence.
Respectful of the Persian.
Well, he's faking the funk. It doesn't come out.
Ask him to say Michelin restaurant.
Well, he goes to a lot of Michelin restaurants.
Well, that's how you pronounce it.
And 99% of English-speaking words says, hey, I went to a 3-star Michelin restaurant.
Yaakov, with all due respect, having been to a few Michelin-star restaurants, that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry.
And people look at you like you're nuts.
Yeah,
actually, my brother
did say that they tried pronouncing one of the things they say where they actually, it's not so-called being the loud, obnoxious American, but it is the people who try to be fancy, smancy, and act like they're an expert on French culture and say they're fucking words and butcher them.
I'm not gonna apologize for that.
Okay,
my friends who go to these restaurants, we all pronounce it the same way. So I'm used to.
If you're hanging out with, fine.
Okay, if you come into my group of friends, then
you hang out with douchebags, David.
That's not nice.
I didn't say that, David. Let me finish with Khomeini.
And you don't have to respond to anything, David.
Of course not. It's all it's fine. We're all friends. David's taking me out to a hockey game at some point.
Wow.
It's a rangée game. We're going to a rangée game.
I don't know. See, David also hung out with Rabbi Nick Dickerson, known as Randy. So, I mean...
Docs.
Yeah. Dude.
But you obviously said it because I don't think Anne has an intelligence network. You self-doxed.
Why? Is that because she's a woman that she doesn't have an intelligence?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking, I don't think most people on this app don't have their own personal intelligence service. So I'm just guessing that in one room, David.
Yeah, see, Norm, like.
I do want to point out that everybody always says that they're out there gathering information, and I think everyone here would agree that everyone is out there gathering information. That's typical human behavior. We're all addicted to information, and we love it, and we gather it because it's valuable, and that's where we get the term valuable information.
But that doesn't mean women aren't intelligent.
What is a woman?
Ask Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson.
She's the worst example you could have brought up.
I'll be honest.
Not to be confused with Jackson Brown.
Women are not.
Not to get confused with Jesse Jackson. God rest his soul.
Hello,
God
any
rest
woman.
his soul.
David's a woman now. No, women are not good drivers, figuratively and literally.
I never said that.
I said that because that's the truth. Like women are good. Some things and men are good.
A woman might be a fool and stupid, but she still could have better intuition than a man.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
As we know, a fool and their money are soon parted.
But who said that? That sounds famous.
It does sound famous.
That's cute, dude.
So I want to thank everybody for coming here today to the Iran war, Israel, Palestine, USA, no terrorists allowed. Because in other rooms right now, there are chronic complainers, people that have a beef with the J word, with the I word, with the Z word, with the K word, with all types of words, and they want to argue with you till the moon appears and the sun sets 24 hours a day about what words mean what. And all I can say is none of these people are intelligent because they are not part of any type of meditation, any type of concentration, any type of focus on love or intelligence. All they do is complain. Hello?
In the words of Lenny Kravitz, let love rule.
Isn't that famous thing?
Okay, I have an answer to a fool and his money are soon parted was most commonly attributed to Thomas Tusser in his 1573 book, 500 Points of Good Husbandry. And the original wording was a fool with an E at the end, F-O-O-N, after which sorrow repents him too late. Okay. There you go. Oh, kind of Old English.
Was he a good guy?
Was he a good guy? My friend David, was he a good guy?
What does it mean by repentance?
Well, there's people I've been quoting before, and my friend, I remember I was at a dinner party.
Another drink.
No, really quick, I was at a dinner party, and I mentioned like a quote, and my friend told me that the person I was quoting was a bad guy. It's like, oh, I'm sorry.
So, it also says the next time you're at a dinner party and someone says a fool and his money, that quote, it's commonly misquoted to William Shakespeare, but it does not appear in any of his plays or writings. So you can say, that does not appear in any of his plays or writings.
Well, William Shakespeare was kind of not a good guy, so.
What do you mean he was not a good guy?
History,
I want to know how he knew about Denmark and Venice.
Who was an English major, and she told me the whole history of the idea. Well, actually, he wasn't a real person, or maybe he was, but she basically told me the history of William Shakespeare, and kind of like not a good person,
Or do you think he was an amalgam?
In 2026, he would have been, Me Too'd. He would have been, Not a good guy.
My question: how did he know about Denmark and Venice and all these different far-flung places when he never really left his own city, as far as we know? From just people talking about it?
He can always read in a book.
Oh, do you think he went to the downtown library? That's a relatively modern invention.
Hello, everyone. Can I speak? I'm an Iranian person. And I saw the title of this room, and I just came to. Actually, I'm curious to know whether I consider you guys to be mostly Americans. So I just want to know what's your idea about whether the United States should attack the regime in Iran, or you do not support.
Well, the IRGC has been a problem for many decades, and I think the world agreed long ago that at minimum they should not be allowed to have nuclear weapons, and at maximum they should not be allowed to threaten the rest of the world. And diplomacy has been tried repeatedly without much success, and now we're trying diplomacy by other means, namely war.
As a Sunni Muslim, the U.S. should dismantle Iran.
Well, hopefully they see, all the stuff we're doing in the water, and they say, okay, we give up on a very simple terms. But yeah, I think it's very simple. I was just making a joke, but yeah, like all the what we're doing in the Gulf with bringing all our aircraft carriers and our battleships and shit like that, you would think they would be like, okay, let's make a deal. But I don't know, we'll see.
You said, okay, we're dealing about what? The nuclear program or what?
Well, yeah, that was they went to a negotiation, and America said, like, 100% give up a nuclear program, and they said no, right? Norm, is that what the stipulation that they decided to say no to, right?
Well, there's three asks: nuclear program, terrorism, and slaughtering their own people. And they don't seem to be willing to move on any of those. Ballistic missiles are up there as well.
Yeah, but you would think, so guns to the head, they would say, okay, we won't do Hezbollah, we won't do, the only thing that was the second point I would think of if I was them would be the nuclear thing, but I mean, I'm assuming that's what the sticking point is now, right? In your opinion.
Yes, definitely based on.
What do you say when you make the okay? It's not just about the nuclear program. The nuclear program for their main deterrence policy, which is the ballistic missile. The main thing is actually the ballistic missile, not the nuclear program. But they never negotiate over it. And the ballistic missile has the power to infiltrate from all the air defense system of Israel and also European countries, just like at 12-day war.
They can have a ballistic missile, but it's also
I think your initial question was, do you think the United States should come in and evaporate the IRGC? Wasn't that your question? Hello? Velvet? Was that your question?
Yes, I answered.
There should be any deals negotiated. They crossed the line when they started murdering people, and then they threatened constantly on a daily basis to want to murder Israeli citizens, and as well the president of the United States. They want to murder him, and they want to cause harm to the USA and Israel. I think there is no negotiation.
because we have to share same values. During the past 26 years, from 1999, for 6 times they have been fighting for this regime. For what? For what? For democracy, for freedom of speech, freedom of thinking, equality between men and women, because the Islamic regime is a gender apartheid regime, and separation of religion from power. All the values that the Western countries, including the United States, are meant to defend and hold dear. So the point is, I'm so happy and I'm so relieved that I hear individual voices, although you might not be, represented in the mainstream media, such as CNN or other networks. But I'm so happy that I hear that not only you see the real fact that there is nothing you can change about the dissolve. Research into this review or not, negotiated them or not, consider Israel literal Satan and ISIS as great Satan. That's what they teach us. I'm so happy to hear first that. And second, when I hear that let me see what is your name, Blessed. When I hear that Blessed was saying that they slaughtered their own people, that gives me such a, you have no idea how relieved I am that you also care about, Iranian freedom-loving fighters that have been fighting with their bare hands with this regime for so long. And the fact that you're concerned about the massacre that this regime has made. And again, let me remind you, this freedom movement, literally blinded, I'm not mentioning the numbers, just in terms of, the United Nations associated statistic, more than 500 protesters during the 2022 movement, Women Life Freedom Movement, So, for instance, 2 people in Minnesota, I'm not going to downplay what happened in Minnesota. I know it is triggering. Even every single person counts and every single casualty, even if it is one individual, it's a lot. But when you're speaking about tens of thousands of people being massacred by this regime, you cannot make that comparison. Or the fact that last year in 2022, look at the United Nations substantiated statistic. You should start to care about the human rights abuses by this regime. And by the way, those people who got blinded and got killed by this regime were not people who were fighting for Islamism, extremism, terrorism, all the things. We happen to have the same values as you. So yes, we should care about our safety and our human rights, because at the end of the day, we will be your biggest ally in that region alongside Israel. Just as that was the case under Shah regime, under Shah reign. Iran was, even if you might not know that, but as an Iranian person, I know that 47 years ago, up to 47 years ago, Israel was not your biggest ally in the region. Iran was, right? But after the Islamic Revolution, you had to, turn to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, countries that are literally funding terrorism, Islamic terrorism. But Iranian people are not, majority of them are not Muslims, and we don't hate you. So yeah, I'm so relieved that I hear those remarks. Thank you.
Well, those are some beautiful remarks about some beautiful remarks. Thank you for those beautiful remarks. Well, we have so many auspicious and interesting people in the audience. Oh, our good friend Stanley Roper is here, straight out of Yerushalayim. Still hasn't paid his brother back the money he owes him, but Rabbono Shalom Hashem is going to make it all come, because it's almost. Rabbono Shalom. And let me ask you a question. Would you marry a wealthy, handsome Jew if he proposed to you and you two fell in love?
Who's that directed to?
Oh, I was asking Anne, our Lebanese Catholic, I suppose. Yeah, you're Catholic. Did you do Ash Wednesday, Anne? Did you get the crucifix and ash put on your forehead?
You shouldn't ask that question.
Did you get the ashes put on your forehead, David?
I'm not going to ask that question.
I did.
Well, everybody, you're in the Iran war. This is the Israel-Palestine-USA conflict, but no terrorists allowed room. If you want to hear terrorists, just go to Amir's room in the World Affairs Forum or in Amir's house, or you can go to Prince's room. There's a whole litany of rooms you can find, I'm sure. But in this room, no. No terrorists allowed.
What's up, normal? Hey, what's up? So what's the word out there? What's the going to do with Trump? Last night I already saw allowing the Iranians there to testify and stuff. Oh, I didn't hear that. He wants to let them save face? Huh? He wants to let them save face? What's going on?
I mean, he's giving him a couple days to decide, right? My understanding. I mean, it's better than what Obama did, which is give him a bunch of money. I mean, that's.
Did he give them money, or did they return the money that was frozen?
Well, I mean, unfreezing money is the same as giving money. I forget how many billions.
Yes, and Obama lifted up the sanctions, and that's what they did. They made deals with that regime, with our operators. And again, just so you know, the same kind of protests were happening in Iran in 2009. We call them the Persian militias, right? People were still not. If you read several months, we're on the streets, and actually we chanted a specific slogan. In Persian, we said, Obama, Obama, it meant Obama, either with us or with the Islamic regime, or with them, right? The point is, Obama chose to turn a blind eye on us and our oppression. Yes, he issued a couple of empty-worded statements that we stand with Iranian people, and they should have the right to peacefully protest. But those statements, empty-worded statements, mean nothing. They don't help us. We need real action. Because we are empty-handed. So Obama made deal with them and lifted up the sanctions, and the regime simply massacred the Iranians, and not just in the streets, but also in the prisons. There's specifically a horrific prison that you might have not heard about it. Its name was Khakis, that they tortured people in Khakis during the removal of people. But that's what Obama did. So yeah. Hopefully the United States will not do this again. Because at the end of the day, Donald Trump made a promise. They said to Iranians that go and take your institutions, we will come to your rescue. And in another remark, he said, if Iran shoots the protesters, as they always do, we will start shooting as well. He made those remarks, and yesterday, Donald Trump already acknowledged that 32,000 Iranians over a short period of time during this random protest were massacred by this regime. So he has made the promise, and he has the responsibility. But even if he didn't make that promise, still we would have considered United States as a leader of the free world to come to our rescue, because with power comes responsibility. Because at the end of the day, first of all, we are all human beings. So if you see someone that is fighting for the values that you also share, democracy, women's rights, LGBTQ rights, all those values that a progressive society of Iranians stand for, you should help them. right? But even if you don't want to, you don't care about other people around the world, you just care about the United States, still you should be wise enough just to understand that this regime wants to destroy your country. Not just this regime, by the way, not just this regime, Islam itself, and political Islam specifically. Look at
Velvet, you need to feel good about something. We're 3 branches of government, and our other branch of government, especially our Senate, has been steadfast in trying to support the people in Iran and to end this regime. And you need to look at the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. You need to look at the leadership there, the statements that they've been making. This is not only from the executive branch, but on our congressional level as well, and that's really important. Also, with respect to the funding, look at our House appropriations on